Welcome everyone to AI Takeover. I know the name might sound kind of ominous, like we're all about to, dive into some crazy sci-fi thriller or something, but don't worry, we're not exactly predicting a robot uprising just yet, but at least not yet anyway. We're really here to explore this whole world of AI in a way that literally anyone can understand, whether you're, totally new to this whole thing, or just kind of AI curious.
Yeah, AI is definitely everywhere. It's suggesting your next favorite song on Spotify to actually helping doctors diagnose disease. A powerful tool with incredible potential, but it's also really important to understand how it actually works and where humans fit into this whole evolving way.
Totally. It's almost like AI is this superpowered intern who can just do amazing things, but still needs a manager, someone with experience and good judgment to oversee everything. And that's exactly what we're going to unpack today. Why human oversight is so crucial, even as AI gets more and more sophisticated.
One of the key things to understand about AI is that it's seriously good at pattern recognition. Just think about how Netflix recommends movies you might like. It does that by analyzing your viewing history and finding patterns that match other users with similar tastes. That's AI in action, finding those hidden connections in massive amounts of data.
So AI is like a master puzzle solver.
Yeah.
It can see those connections that we might totally miss.
Precisely. But here's the thing though, AI might be able to predict what you'll want to watch next. But it doesn't actually understand why you like those movies. It doesn't grasp the nuances of human emotions or the complex factors that go into our decision making.
So AI can tell you what might happen based on all that data, but it can't always understand the why or the potential consequences of those actions. It's like that time I asked a chatbot to write me a poem about love, and it came back with something that sounded more like a technical manual.
Exactly. That really highlights that difference between AI and human intelligence. AI can process information and generate outputs based on its programming, but it lacks that deeper understanding of context, meaning, and human experience.
This makes me think about the whole idea of AI being used in healthcare. It can be incredibly helpful in diagnosing diseases, but it seems like it would be crucial to have a human doctor involved to consider all the individual factors that the AI might miss.
You're absolutely right. Let's say an AI is analyzing a patient's medical data and suggests a particular treatment. A human doctor would consider not only the data, but also the patient's individual circumstances, their lifestyle, their emotional state, and even their personal preference. AI can be a really powerful tool, but it can't replace the nuanced judgment of a human expert.
So it's not about AI versus humans. It's about finding the right balance between their strengths. It's about collaboration.
Precisely. AI excels at speed and scale. It can process huge amounts of data in the blink of an eye and perform complex calculations that would take humans hours or even days. Things like intuition, empathy, and ethical judgment.
There's this great analogy in one of the articles we read that really stuck with me. It described AI as like a sous chef in a kitchen. They can chop, dice, and prep ingredients with crazy speed and precision, but you wouldn't want them to design the menu or plate the final dish.
That's a fantastic analogy. You still need the head chef, the human, to bring all those elements together, to taste test, to add that creative flair, and ultimately ensure that the dish is something people will enjoy.
And it's not just about cooking. It's the same in so many fields. AI can generate music or create artwork, but it's humans who imbue those creations with meaning and emotional resonance. It's that combination of technical skill and human understanding that really elevates things to the next level.
What's fascinating is how this collaborative relationship is likely to evolve as AI continues to advance. We're already seeing AI being used in ways that were unimaginable just a few years ago, and that pace of innovation is only going to accelerate.
So as AI becomes even more powerful, the need for human oversight, for that guiding hand, becomes even more important.
Exactly. And that leads to some pretty big questions. Questions about accountability, transparency, and the balance of power between humans and machines. It really does make you think about what role humans will play in a future where AI is capable of so much.
Yeah, it's like we're entering this new era where we almost have to redefine what it means to be human, to figure out what sets us apart from these incredible machines that we're creating.
And one of the things that makes us uniquely human is our ability to learn and adapt. We're constantly evolving, expanding our knowledge, and finding new ways to solve problems. And I think those skills are going to become even more important as AI becomes more integrated into our lives.
So instead of fearing AI taking over our jobs, maybe we should be focusing on developing those uniquely human skills that AI can't replicate.
Precisely. Things like critical thinking, creativity, emotional intelligence, and complex problem solving. These are the skills that will allow us to work alongside AI, to guide its development, and to ensure that it's used for good.
This makes me think about that old saying, it's not about the destination, it's about the journey. Maybe our relationship with AI isn't about some final endpoint where one of us wins, but it's about this ongoing process of learning, adapting, and evolving together.
I love that perspective. It's not about humans versus machines, it's about humans and machines working together to create something new and amazing.
But let's be realistic for a second. There are definitely some valid concerns about AI, right?
Right.
What about the potential for job displacement? For AI being used in harmful ways, or even for those crazy sci-fi scenarios where AI becomes so intelligent that it poses a threat to humanity?
Those are all important considerations. And it's crucial that we have open and honest conversations about them. We need to develop ethical frameworks for AI development and use to ensure that it aligns with our values and doesn't perpetuate existing inequalities or create new ones.
So it's not just about the technology itself, it's about the people behind it, the choices they make, and the safeguards they put in place.
Absolutely. We need to be thoughtful and intentional about how we develop and deploy AI. And that requires collaboration between technologists, ethicists, policymakers, and the public.
It sounds like we all have a role to play in shaping the future of AI, even if we're not, computer scientists or tech experts.
Exactly. The more people who are informed about AI, who understand its potential benefits and risks, and who engage in these conversations, the better equipped we'll be to navigate this new landscape.
So what can our listeners do to get involved? Where do we even begin to wrap our heads around something as complex as AI?
Well, a great first step is simply to stay curious and informed. There are tons of resources available online and in libraries, from articles and documentaries to online courses and podcasts like this one.
That's right. We're here to help you navigate this complex world. And don't be afraid to ask questions, to challenge assumptions, and to think critically about the information you encounter.
I completely agree. The more we can foster a culture of critical thinking and open dialogue, the more likely we are to harness the power of AI for good.
So we've talked about AI's strengths, its limitations, and the need for human oversight. We've also touched on some of the ethical considerations and the importance of public engagement. But what does this all mean for the individual? How is AI likely to impact our lives in the years to come?
That's a great question, and one that I think everyone is grappling with right now. AI is already transforming the way we work, communicate, and interact with the world around us. And as AI continues to evolve, we can expect to see even more significant changes.
I know one area that people are particularly curious about is the impact of AI on jobs. Will robots really take over all our jobs?
That's a question that comes up a lot. And it's understandable why people are concerned. AI is automating many tasks that were previously done by humans, and this trend is likely to continue. But it's important to remember that AI is also creating new opportunities.
So it's not necessarily about jobs disappearing altogether, but about jobs evolving and new jobs emerging.
Precisely. We're likely to see a shift in the types of skills that are in demand, with a greater emphasis on creativity, critical thinking, and emotional intelligence. Jobs that require those uniquely human skills are less likely to be automated.
This makes me think about that scene in the movie Her, where the main character, played by Joaquin Phoenix, develops a relationship with his AI assistant. It's obviously a fictional scenario, but it raises some interesting questions about how AI might impact our relationships and our sense of self in the future.
That's a fascinating point. As AI becomes more sophisticated, it's likely to play a more prominent role in our personal lives, from providing companionship and emotional support to helping us manage our health and finances. It will be interesting to see how these interactions shape our understanding of ourselves and our relationships with others.
It really does feel like we're on the cusp of something truly transformative. It's both exciting and a little bit daunting, isn't it?
Absolutely. But I think it's important to approach this new era with a sense of optimism and a willingness to adapt. AI has the potential to solve some of the world's most pressing problems, from climate change to disease to poverty, but it's up to us to guide its development and ensure that it's used for good.
And that brings us back to the importance of human oversight, of having those ethical considerations at the forefront of our minds. We talk a lot about the big picture, but I'm curious to hear your thoughts on this. What unique human skills do you think will become even more valuable as AI becomes more integrated into our lives?
That's such a great question, and it's one that I think we all need to be asking ourselves.
It really is something to think about. What are those essential human qualities that set us apart, that make us, irreplaceable?
Well, one that immediately comes to mind is creativity. AI can generate art, music, even code. But it does so based on patterns and data it's been fed. True human creativity, that spark of originality, that ability to think outside the box and come up with something truly novel, that's something I believe will always be valuable.
Yeah, it's like AI can give you variations on a theme, but humans come up with the theme in the first place, right?
Exactly. And along with creativity, I think critical thinking is going to be more important than ever. We're bombarded with information from all sides, and AI is only going to amplify that. Being able to sift through that information, discern what's reliable and what's not, identify biases, and form your own informed conclusions. Those are essential skills for navigating this complex world.
So it's not just about absorbing information. It's about being discerning, about thinking for ourselves, rather than just accepting everything at face value.
Precisely. And then there's emotional intelligence. That ability to understand and manage our own emotions, recognize emotions in others, and build meaningful relationships. As AI becomes more prevalent in our lives, being able to connect with others on a human level, to empathize, to collaborate, and to build trust, those are qualities that will be highly sought after.
This makes me think about fields like teaching or counseling, where human connection is so central. I can't imagine those roles being fully replaced by AI, no matter how advanced it becomes.
I agree, there's a certain depth of understanding, a level of empathy and compassion that AI simply can't replicate. And speaking of compassion, I think that's another human quality that will become even more important. As we navigate this new era, AI can make decisions based on logic and data, but it doesn't have the same capacity for compassion, for moral reasoning, for making those difficult choices that involve human values and ethics.
Yeah, it seems like all these qualities we're talking about, creativity, critical thinking, emotional intelligence, compassion, they're all interconnected, aren't they? They all contribute to our ability to be thoughtful, ethical, and responsible humans.
Absolutely. And I think it's important to remember that these aren't just skills we're born with. They're qualities we can cultivate. We can develop them throughout our lives. It's about being open to learning, being willing to adapt, and being committed to making the world a better place.
So instead of worrying about AI taking over, maybe we should be focusing on how we can level up our own humanity.
That's a fantastic way to put it. It's not about fearing the future. It's about embracing the possibilities and striving to become the best versions of ourselves.
Well said. And I think that's a great note to end on. We've covered a lot of ground today.
Yeah.
From the basics of AI to some of the bigger questions about its impact on society and our own lives. But the key takeaway, for me at least, is that AI is a tool, a powerful tool, but ultimately it's up to us as humans to decide how we want to use it.
I couldn't agree more. It's our responsibility to guide its development, to ensure it's used ethically, and to harness its potential for good. And remember, even in a world increasingly shaped by AI, there will always be a need for human intelligence, human creativity, and human compassion. Those are the qualities that make us unique. And those are the qualities that will continue to shape the future.
So the next time someone starts worrying about robots taking over, just remember, even the smartest machines still need us to keep them in check, at least for now.
For now, indeed. Until next time, keep learning, keep exploring, and keep asking those big questions.